You'll see it called here and there. A lot of shopping down there on South Congress, some great restaurants. Some of our most iconic music venues are down there on South Congress, including the Continental Club and Sea Boys, Heart and Soul. Here tonight, I happen to see at 10:15 p.m. Mr. Dale Watson is playing at the Continental Club, an iconic country artist here in Texas. He moved to Nashville for a while, but he decided to come back to Austin. Well, we're seeing great venues in any case, anytime you do go to South Congress. We're turning onto 2nd Street. This is known as the 2nd Street District. It's relatively new to old-timers like myself. About 20 years ago, we started developing this part of downtown. And so we have some new condos down here, some shopping, restaurants, cafes. A little further down is Central Library. We'll talk about that later in the tour. And the Seaholm Power Plant, also at the end of 2nd Street. 2nd Street is also known as Even short-haired. He quickly fell apart and became sort of an ambassador to Austin, Texas. A lot of musicians moved here to be near Willie Nelson. As some of you may know, he had a 4th of July music festival in this area for decades. Big part of our culture. Willie and all of those university students in the 70s were sort of the face of this new hippie town. Is Willie Nelson to Austin? Well, there's Willie Nelson right over there. Willie is sitting in front of the Moody Theater. The Moody Theater is home to the Austin City Limits music television show, longest running music television show in America. It started in 1974. They shot at the University of Texas for about 35 years before they moved over here to the Moody Theater. Their first musical guest in 1974, you guessed it, Willie Nelson. Last year, Austin City Limits celebrated 50 years on the air, and their musical guest was, deep breath, Willie Nelson. Mr. Nelson turned 92 years old this year, and he is still performing. He played at his 4th of July picnic as well. When they unveiled that statue of Willie in 2012, hundreds of people showed up, including Willie Nelson himself. They say you could smell the marijuana all the way to the Capitol building, ladies and gentlemen. All right. This building to our left is made of limestone. Limestone is probably our biggest import here in Austin. It comes from the hill country. All those hills are made of limestone, and so we see this material on everything from the federal courthouse to Whataburger. It is bridge, and this is Lady Bird Lake. Used to be called Town Lake. We renamed it after Lady Bird Johnson. What a beautiful day to be in Austin in the air conditioning. We renamed this in 2007. To our left is the Ann W. Richards Congress Avenue Bridge, temporarily obscured by a giant city bus. Largest urban population of bats in North America. And so in the summer months, that's right now, about 1.5 million Mexican free-tailed bats live in the creases under that bridge. And at sunset, those bats come flying out in dramatic fashion. Folks line up in the water, line up along the bridge to see those bats come out. You can do that even tonight. There are websites dedicated to those bats. Insects every night, including mosquitoes. Hello, Houston, Texas. And so we named that bat the official animal of Austin, Texas. Yes, we did. This is called Auditorium Shores over here to the right. On a daily basis, this is an off-leash dog park, but we have festivals here year-round. All kinds of music festivals, of course. The Austin Symphony Orchestra performing across the street at the Long Center for the Performing Arts. You can see along the edge some people jogging for some reason. There is a 10-mile hike and bike trail that goes all the way around Lady Bird Lake, and it is very well used. I recommend in the morning in the summer when it's cooler, but it is a beautiful trail. I was there for the first time in many months 2 days ago on Saturday and walked this trail. Absolutely a blast. A lot of Austinites out there walking dogs, riding bikes, etc. all around Lady Bird Lake. We call this Lady Bird Lake. We used to call it Town Lake. It is neither one of those things. It is a river. This is a dammed up portion of the Texas-Colorado River. This is not the Colorado River that goes to the Grand Canyon. This is just in Texas. It's our biggest river. It's 900 miles long. We dammed it up 7 times, creating what's called the Highland Lakes. This is the with boat docks up against the shore, etc. Controlled also by the next lake in the chain, which is called Lake Travis, a massive lake 60 miles long, used to control these floodwaters. Also the beginning of our, since the 70s, Willie Nelson used to park his tour bus there at the Broken Spoke when he was in town. The Saxon Pub, also a very popular music venue down here on South Lamar. Likewise, South First has some older restaurants. It's in some ways more authentic Austin, a little older, less developed than the central part of Austin downtown that you're more familiar with at this point. We're about to turn right on Barton Springs Road. If we were to take a left, we would pretty quickly run into Terry Black's Barbecue. That was named Best Barbecue in Austin last year by Austin Chronicle readers. Honestly, I would not want a van full of Austinites arguing about best barbecue in Austin, but Terry Black's is quite good, and I'll tell you about some other barbecue restaurants here in Austin. We've got a lot of them. This is Barton Springs Road, taking us toward, you guessed it, Barton Springs. Oddly, here in the middle of town, in the middle of Barton Springs, is an RV park, a mobile home park, quite a big one too. At one point in his career, Matthew McConaughey had an Airstream there at Pecan Grove. He's got a slightly bigger place over on Lake Austin these days. Some restaurants down here, Juice Land coming up on our left, very popular smoothie place. If you go through the Austin airport, all of the restaurants, indeed all of the bars in the Austin airport are local restaurants and bars. We support our restaurants as much as we can. We also support our food trucks. There are over 1,000 in Austin. Here's a whole park of them. A lot of fun. They tend to be more experimental, more international, certainly. And some of them get popular enough where they can open their own brick and mortar restaurant. Franklin Barbecue, arguably our most famous barbecue restaurant here, started as a food truck. People start lining up very early for Franklin these days. Torchy's Tacos is all there in Barton Creek, you bet. Just a few. That is putting us into Zilker Park. Zilker Park, sort of the central park of Austin. Activities here every single day. Most notably, however, is in October, the Austin City Limits Music Festival, ACL Fest. This is 2 weekends in October. Over 100,000 people come to Zilker Park each weekend during ACL Fest. David will not be driving down this road for 2 weekends in October. Not a chance, but a lot of fun, the ACL Fest. To our left and upstream, behind all those pecan trees, is Barton Springs, for whom this road is named. The fourth largest spring in Texas, 26 million gallons of spring water pumped through that pool every single day. It is a chilly 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Pretty cold, but this time of year, pretty cold feels pretty good. It is one of our signature locations in Austin, Texas, Barton Springs. Planted gardens, mostly native trees and plants. There's a lovely Japanese garden there as well. Pretty easy hike through there. I wouldn't even call it a hike, just a nice walk through the